Hello everyone. Thank you for joining Fintech Startup Pitch hosted by Gujarat International Finance Tech City GIFT and Fukuoka City Global Finance Center GFC. I am Akiko from Global Finance Center, today's MC. Here at the Global Finance Center base, I'm with Mumu, the Director of Global Finance Center, and Yoshi, and Mr. Shiota from Fukuoka City Government. So before we start the meeting, I would like to ask one thing. Please keep your microphone mute and turn off the video during the event. So please welcome Ms. Mona Kandal, Minister, Economic and Commerce, Embassy of India, Tokyo, for open remarks.
Thank you very much, and a warm welcome to a team from Global Financial Center Fukuoka and a team from GIFT and all the delegates joining from Japan and India side. Konnichiwa and namaste. I'm very happy to be here today at the first kickoff event jointly organized by Fukuoka Global Financial Center and Gujarat International Financial Center, International Financial Center Services. So this is our first joint kickoff event, and it assumes a lot of importance looking at the growing financial collaboration between India and Japan. And there are so many aspects of financial sector that India and Japan now collaborating, and International Financial Service Center is one of them. Looking at the changes happening at global level, especially in IFSC space, like what we are seeing at Hong Kong or London IFSC and all these changes taking place, it becomes very important that the new financial centers, especially, they come together and make up for the emergence of new requirements. And fintech is a very important segment of that. And India, as everyone knows, is the third largest startup ecosystem. And so far as fintech is concerned, it is the leading fintech ecosystem in the world, with more than 2,000, or rather more than 2,100 fintech. And the fintech transaction value of India is expected to grow from about USD 66 billion to about 138 USD billion in 2023 at a CAGR of 20%. So fintech becomes very important, and fintech is also the foundation for all the other startups. Now in fintech, UPI, Unified Payment Interface of Reserve Bank of India, has played a very important role, and they have laid out several digital products. And the number of transaction at UPI was more than 4.5 billion in December. I mean, that this is the monthly number in December 2021, amounting to more than more than 8 trillion of rupees. So this is the kind of volume that we are seeing only in government digital segment. Add to this all the digital products and transaction value added by private sector. So we expect a huge increase and huge scale up in this fintech and financial services, especially digital financial services. And Global Financial Center of Fukuoka is also supported by Global Startup Cafe, and also one of the fastest emerging ecosystem in startup and also financial services in Japan. So we are very happy to be here with them. And this kickoff event, I hope, is going to be just a beginning, and we have a lot more to collaborate with. With this, I wish all the best wishes for the fintech from both the sides that are pitching today, and all the delegates that are joining. And I wish all of them to have a good business collaboration in future. and we will be here to extend all support from Embassy of India at Tokyo. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for opening remarks, Mona-san. Thank you. So now let me start with sharing today's rundown briefly. Okay, so firstly, we'll explain general information of Fukuoka City Global Finance Center. Then Pisus from Tamago Finance will give us a pitch. After Fukuoka session, Mr. Sandeep Shah will give us the presentation about GIFT. And we will welcome two startups, Full and ARM-based will have pitch session and closing remarks follows. Each startup will have 15 minutes for their session, 5 minutes to pitch, and rest of the time we will have a QA session. Audience members can also ask questions in the chat box, and we can ask them to the startup if time allows. If you want to have the answers, then please send us with your email address so that we can give you an answer if we don't have time to answer your question. So I'd like to give special thanks to Mr. Umesh Uttam Chandani, co-founder of DevX, to hold this FinTech pitch event. DevX is India's fastest growing managed office space provider with a keen interest in startup ecosystem. It is present across India in 10 cities and have invested in 15 startups to date. So I would like to start with the introduction of Global Finance Center. So Fukuoka is now getting one of the most famous startup city in Japan, and some of you might know us as a Global Startup Center. Today, I would like to introduce us as Global Finance Center. Fukuoka City was nominated by the Japanese government as the candidate of the next global financial hub in Japan. Soon after the nomination, Fukuoka City formed the Team Fukuoka in September 2020 and Global Finance Center 1 month later, October 2020. Team Fukuoka is a partnership among industry, 7 main large companies based in Fukuoka, academia, Kyushu University, and government aiming to attract international financial functions to Fukuoka City. Global Finance Center is a contact window and executive unit for your project. We work as a part of your team. Even though you are willing to start your project in Japan, you do not know whom you should talk with. Do not hesitate to contact us, Global Finance Center. We are happy to assist you. Our services are very wide range and available at any stages of your business, as you can see. We support your startup visa application. After arriving at Fukuoka, we have a meeting every month to solve any problems you will face. These days, it's been said that it's getting more and more difficult to open bank accounts for both individuals and cooperatives. However, we have a good relationship with local banks, so we managed to support opening bank accounts without any problem. We also offer our unique business matching services. According to your expectations, we will try to find your potential partners in our network, and we propose the best way of the collaboration for both parties. These business matching services are available at any stage of your business. Even though you are in India and you don't have companies in Fukuoka, Japan, our business matching services are available. When you implement financial projects at foreign market, complying with regulation there is very important and they can be very complicated. However, we have a lawyer in Global Finance Center team who is a specialist of financial sector. We can support you with professional insights. Now, some of you may be wondering why Fukuoka? What is the advantage starting with Fukuoka? We should say these are our advantages: safety, quality of life, and existing startup ecosystem. Safety, it can be said this way, the lower risk of the natural disasters. Like other big cities like Tokyo, Osaka, Fukuoka is the only city located in the Japan seaside. And we have risk earthquakes, for example. That's why we already have some data centers of Tokyo-based big companies. Compared to big cities like Tokyo or Osaka, Fukuoka is smaller, but this is big advantage of us. It's not crowded, less competitive, and the living cost here is much more affordable and reasonable. We also have strong communities. Once you get into the community, it's easier to make new networks. Fukuoka City is surrounded by rich nature. Mountains and beaches are very close from the city center. So we believe our city will be a perfect place for relocation of your business, not only relocation of your business, but also for the middle and back offices and even more remote workers. Our existing startup ecosystem is a great advantage of Fukuoka City. Fukuoka City declared to become a startup city in 2012, and we are known as one of the famous startup cities in Japan now. We have a special visa for entrepreneurs called Startup Visa. Startup Visa provides you at least 6 months to 1 year period to do market research and prepare for starting your business here in Japan before you invest. Jesus from Tamago Finance, who will give us pitch after my presentation. He is coming to Fukuoka with this startup visa. Fukuoka City has a project that supports proof of concept in the city. As you can see the movement of Team Fukuoka, public and private sectors are working closely. For example, Fukuoka Financial Group introduced the first digital bank as a local bank in Japan. They were facing the reality that they reached the limits of the law as the local bank, and they had to build new system model, a new business model that would exceed the existing services. And Fukuoka has an environment that challenges something new. That's why the first digital bank as a local bank was emerged from this town. As you can see, Fukuoka has the atmosphere to support the willingness to try something new, accept and adapt the changes. Here I would like to show one case. Victory Asset Management Japan Company Limited is established in Fukuoka about 1 year ago, February 2021, as a subsidiary of Victory Security Holdings in Hong Kong. We Global Finance Center are supporting their expansion of their business in the Japanese market. They are now applying for the license of Type 2 financial instrument business. One of their business is to sell securities of foreign funds, including their parent company, to the Japanese investors. To do so, they need to get a license of Type 1 financial instrument business. It is very delicate and difficult to get a Type 1 license. Moreover, the most business of Victory Asset Management Japan could be conducted under Type 2 license. That's why we at the GFC considered a few strategies to make this system possible, researching with the financial specialized lawyers and offering the solution to the Victory Asset Management Japan and the Victory Security Holdings. We support and propose the realistic and the fastest way to start a business here in Fukuoka. Fukuoka City is a place that you can start easy and start first. And Global Finance Center is always happy to assist you. If you're interested in starting business in Fukuoka, please do not hesitate to contact us. Now, I would like to start with now I would like to welcome Jesus from Tamago Finance. Could you start your presentation?
All right. Thank you. Can everyone hear me?
Yes, we do hear you.
All right. Let me share the screen. And it's my pleasure to be here to present my project to all of you. But let me share the screen first. Sorry. All right. Yeah, so I am Pisut from Termical Finance, and I am Thai, live in Bangkok, Thailand right now, but planning to move to Fukuoka cities quite soon, because right now situation is more like the Japan border still closed. I am like waiting for like moving to Japan. Hopefully the situation should be relaxed quite soon, and for today's section I'm going to like but let's start about like the introduction about myself first. My name is Pisut. I am the co-founder and CTO of the Termical Finance. We are the crypto startup. I am right now live in Bangkok, and for my project for Termical Finance, we consist of like about 10 members. About half of them based in Thailand, and many of them like come from Europe. In Russia, for example, we have around 3 or 4 engineers working across the globe, working on the crypto project. And for myself, I graduated from a Bachelor of Engineering degree from Bangkok, and also graduated from one of top blockchain accelerator in the US from last year. And I also an ambassador of the one of the top crypto project named Chainlink from 2021 from last year, and have experiences on the crypto industry from since 2018. For the today agenda, I'm going to like giving you why we want to move to Japan, and because we are purely crypto startup. I'm not sure about your background can be like understand it all. So for this section, I'm going to give you like trends on the cryptos in not too much detail, like to give you a rough overview about what happening on these industries. And lastly, I'm going like to hard selling about our project, what our services and products. And what is Termical Finance? We are a deep tech startup. We're building the NFT based financial element for enterprise adoptions with a mission to like accelerate the fair and sustainable financial services. We have 2 products right now. One is still building, which is the multi-chain NFT exchange. But this is we still like developing it. And we have the second product that already live on the public blockchains. We call it value-backed NFT, because normally on the NFT pricing is based on the speculation. We try to like add the baseline of the values by like attacking the stable coin in order to like normally NFT pricing is hard to like estimate, right? We just attacking the token into the NFT and make the NFT worth of a specific value. Like the NFT, if the NFT we attack the value of $100, this NFT will become $100, for example. And then we do have the service over the consultations and implementation service for enterprise, for the business. And we backed by a lot of investors across the globe. And why we moving to Fukuoka cities, because start from the motivation, because the blockchain infrastructure is ready right now. It's not something new. We have a lot of like public blockchain right now, and the speed is good compared to the Bitcoin, right? Normally when you like Bitcoin cannot consist much transactions because they use quite very old technologies. Not much old, but old from like 2020 to expect. But yeah, right now we have like many high-speed blockchain and ready for the mass, and liquidity on the DeFi or decentralized finance is at around like 70 billion and ready for like everyone to come to use it. And yeah, but we believe that DeFi must go beyond cryptos in any aspect. Like the DeFi must using in the real world business or an enterprise. And after the team is formed around like 1 year ago, we're looking for the main hub that can fulfill our visions because we want the DeFi to go beyond cryptos. When we come to the selection process, I'm here in Thailand, right? And yeah, I know here quite well that like many in 2018, many crypto startups across the globe, not across the globe, but most of them come from like Asia, like China, for example. They move their company and set up their main office in Thailand around like 2018. Many of them come from Vietnam as well and set up the main office in Thailand around 2018. And the funny thing is that all of them moved out from Thailand around 2020 for many reasons. And yeah, there are a couple of reasons behind that I heard from the industry. Like the regulation is not good, and we have a lot of like cryptos association. They work separately. They're not the same thing. And yeah, and then we're looking for like other country that we can like move to set up our main office in there. And finally, we found the Fukuoka city. I randomly like attending the webinar organized by them, and later like I keep following up like how the city can support our business in the long run. And finally, we got the conclusion that Fukuoka city has the unit called GFC that provides single point of contact and help you for almost everything from immigration, even like finding the accommodation in Japan for you, even you're not here yet, right? For me, I'm in Thailand, but yeah, GSC can provide me to find the helpful information, almost everything about that, include like the networking opportunity to help me presenting what we are doing right now to and keep networking, something like that. And the most important thing is more like the cities try to be the new international financial hub, and it aligns with our vision because we want crypto to go beyond crypto, and eventually crypto need to be like used in the real world business. And we do believe that Fukuoka city can help us achieve that goal. And yeah, and lastly about like the challenge on Japan's economy. Japan, they like really they are looking for like the fintech startup to help the drive the economies. That is the biggest reason we want to taking that challenge, and that the reason that we moved to Japan. And for the trend on the industry, this year we're talking so much over so-called decentralized finance 2.0 or the version 2 of the decentralized finance. For very short, decentralized finance have been like introduced from around 2017. But the problem on the first version of the DeFi was the capital efficiencies from the DeFi 1.0 was quite low because of normally you need to deposit a collateral token into the smart contract in order to issue like another token. Sometimes we call a stablecoin, but normally the collateral token are like idle on the smart contract. But on the DeFi 2.0 concepts that have been like conceptualized from last year, on the DeFi 2.0 concept, we try to reutilize the collateral assets into the Author protocol. This is the same way like the traditional financial service does. Like normally when you deposit the money to the bank will reutilize your assets in order to like earning the benefits and do some reinvestment and give you back interest, for example. The concept of 2.0 is a clone or like have been inspired by the traditional financial service, and we do believe that this concept will help increase capital efficiencies of the systems. And the next trend that we're going to see much more from this year is the so-called consumer-centric game. Because of last year was the best year of the NFT, and around like 40 billion worth of the NFT were sold from last year. And the funny thing is more like many NFT projects they sell without they have the project. For example, like the project named Loot, they sell the NFT. The NFT has no image, has no like even like clear information about that. What they're just selling like on the bottom right. You can see the NFT from Loot project is like the source code. The basically Loot project they sell the game item without to provide the image of the game item. But when they release it, they hopefully there will be like the game developer to using this game item into the game, even the game is not start developing. Yeah, so on 2022 from this year, we expect to see the game developer to make the game, but to build the games, to build the world and around the NFT that has been sold or distributed from last year. And yeah, that are the two trends from the crypto side. And for our services, we provide the B2B services. We help the company to accessing the liquidity on DeFi. We have we're talking with, because our project is quite on the early stage. We talking with like 2 or 3 companies in Thailand about this kind of opportunity. We help them to like get better access the liquidity on DeFi. We provide consultancy services, and we provide like implementation service in case of there are a lot of like use case on these matters. Like if you are like the fintech companies, we can help you to do some implement remittance service by accessing with the DeFi, even the cross-border investment, and there are a lot more about these regards. And on the second things, second service we offer to the enterprise and other business, we can also like help you tokenize the asset into the NFT format. Actually, we have the project in Thailand too. There is a properties company in here. They want to tokenize their property and sell it in an NFT form into like foreign countries. we are working on this project too. But the concept is more like we help you tokenize the assets like property into the NFT, and then the NFT can be listed on the decentralized exchange or on any public blockchains. And from there, there will be a customers come and see and buy it. Apart from like come to visit the property to or visit the condo in here and buy with like the real money. You can like buy the property the same way you did on the traditional business, like, but you just buy with the NFT. And once you hold the NFT, which means you are the owners of that property. And yeah, I think that's all for our project. Thank you so much. And if you have any question about our project or want to collaborate with us, feel free to send the email to support@Termical Finance or come to visit our website. And yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you so much for your presentation, Pisut. And we are very looking forward to seeing you here in Fukuoka soon.
Yeah, maybe in March.
Maybe right. Yeah. All
yeah.
right.
So recently, Japan government announced a sort of the regulation of the control. So then now we are checking, and at the earliest, you are here in March.
All right, that's good news. We'd like to see you all in person.
Yes,
Yeah.
start packing everything. Yeah.
All right, all right.
Thank you so much for your presentation. Thank you.
All right.
Okay, so now I'd like to introduce Mr. Sandeep Shah from GIFT. Mr. Shah, would you start your presentation of GIFT?
Sure, thank you. Hi, I hope you are able to see my screen.
Yes, we can see your screen.
Thank you. Thank you. It's my pleasure to be part of this event today. And today I'll like to give a perspective in terms of the emerging opportunities in the GIFT City, which is India's only international financial services center. And we have been taking various initiatives specifically for the fintech ecosystem, and I'll cover that during my presentation. But before that, before I come to the fintech part, I would like to give you the perspective about what we do at GIFT City, where is it, and the kind of infrastructure and the entities operating in the zone today. The International Financial Services Center was notified in the year 2015 by Government of India, and GIFT City has been is being developed by Government of Gujarat as one of the smart city and integrated greenfield project. It caters to not only commercial development but also the residential and social facilities, and it's located much closer to the international airport and the domestic airport. It is only 20 minutes drive from the airport. As it's a greenfield smart city project, we could actually experiment in some of the infrastructure facilities that we have created, and some of them have been very unique from India perspective. The International Financial Services Center specifically caters to the various financial services activities into a non-rupee related business. After the launch of the financial center in 2015, Government of India also provided various tax incentives for various businesses to operate from here. And subsequently, the exemptions were provided under the Companies Act as well for companies to, there are 59 clauses which do not apply for the companies here, which provides ease of operations for the companies to locate here. The International Financial Services Center caters to the banking, insurance, and the capital market activities, including the asset management business. Additionally, the center also attracts the businesses into the aircraft leasing and financing activities, the ship leasing business activities, the bullion exchange, which is coming up, which is going to be India's first spot bullion exchange. And similarly, the fintech is one of the areas where the regulations are being issued to cater to the requirements of the financial center. The important point here to note is the entities set up in the IFSC are recognized as non-resident entity. So it is as good as kind of a foreign entity when they set up their office in GIFT City. And a unified regulatory approach has been provided through the IFSC authority, which is headquartered within the city and which licenses all the businesses, not only the banking or the capital market, but all financial services business within this zone. As we speak today, there are already two international exchanges which are operating and which operates 22 hours a day. They cover from Japan to US market. The opportunity for some of the fintech firms into the capital market segment is also to set up your trading arm, and you can run the algo trading on the exchanges, on the co-location servers provided by them. And the benefit is you can not only trade on the exchanges set up within GIFT City, but the regulator has now permitted the trading communities to also trade on any other global markets. So I think this is something where fintech communities would like to explore the trading opportunities in the international stocks. There are already 19 banks present, and they provide foreign currency loan, the external commercial borrowings to the Indian corporates. So these banking units are also more like offshore branches of banks, and they have also been kind of providing proof of concepts to the many fintech startups to resolve some of their existing problems related to the technology. Similarly, there is asset management and wealth management related regulations as well, which allows you to access even the mainland India markets. So setting up of an AIF, you can raise money from the foreign investors, and that money can be invested back in the mainland Indian market under the foreign portfolio investment route. Now here, the retail participations has also been enabled by the regulator, where the fintechs can actually look at creating a product under which you can attract the resident investors as well as the non-resident investors to invest in the Indian securities as well as the foreign securities. So I think a solution can be provided under which the NRIs and the resident Indians can be attracted to trade and invest in global securities. And that's how around more than 50 capital market intermediaries have set up their shop here today, and they are operating under the IFSC authority regulations. Similarly, there are opportunities in the insurance and the reinsurance segments where the insurance in foreign currency can be provided to the non-residents and the foreign individuals sitting in GIFT City. The important framework which has recently been announced is the Ancillary Framework, where even the technology firms or the legal firms or accounting firms have been permitted. So these ancillary service providers will help to develop the ecosystem for the financial services business in GIFT City. I'll now straight away come to the fintech opportunities in GIFT City and some of the developments, recent developments that has happened in GIFT City. I'm sure many of you would have attended the Infinity Fintech Forum, the first flagship event that we organized in January. And we plan to organize it on annual basis, so that got a lot of attraction from the global fintech firms to explore the opportunities in the fintech space in GIFT. While the IFSC authority has already come out with a regulatory sandbox framework, and which allows fintech companies and innovators to conduct experiments for new products or services in a controlled environment under the supervision. And these entities will be able to test their solution in the isolation from the live market, basically. And the solutions, the problem statements would be provided by the market infrastructure institutions within GIFT City. So the advantage here is, the fintech community generally requires the ecosystem of the financial services institutions. And which is very easily available, where banks are present here, the insurance companies are present, capital market entities are present here, which will help you to get the proof of concept under the sandbox regulatory framework of the IFSC authority. And the eligibility criteria are also quite open. So if you are already registered entity within India with the financial services regulator, you can be a part of the sandbox regulatory framework. Even if you are incorporated and regulated from any FATF compliant jurisdictions, those entities are also permitted to be a part of the regulatory sandbox. And so it is not restricted to the entities. It is also permitted that, and say as an individual, if you have so many innovative ideas and you are from the FATF compliant jurisdictions, they have also been permitted to be a part of this regulatory sandbox framework. So the eligibility criteria is quite open for any individual or entities to be a part of it. The another important point, this is very recent, where Government of India has announced the Fintech incentive scheme, which is part of the IFSC authority, which is the regulator in GIFT City. These incentives will be provided to basically the Indian fintech firms who would like to go global and access the global markets, and to the foreign firms. So we have seen huge attractions from the global firms as well, who are looking to enter India, and IFSC can be a right platform for them as well to be a part of the sandbox regulatory framework in IFSC and access the market within GIFT City. And the third is mainly for the Indian firms aiming to grow its Indian business or wanting to work on the regulatory sandbox basically within IFSC. In terms of the categories, around 6 categories have been defined, ranging from proof of concept grant to the sandbox grant to the green fintech grant and overseas listing of the equities by the Indian corporates. So I think the grant should be covers the broader area, and if you are a part of any of this category, you are eligible to avail the incentives policy announced by the IFSC authority. The amount is close to around $6 million have been already proposed under this policy, where the idea is to target around 125 fintech entities in next 3 years. As I mentioned, along with the fintech event which we did as an Infinity Forum in January this year, we also organized hackathons, and those were global fintech hackathons into the various categories. So these hackathons were organized for banking, for the insurance players, for the capital market players. And we have seen huge interest from not only from the Indian fintech communities, but also from the global fintech communities. And they are right now in different stages of their process to be a part of the final sandbox regulatory framework. The evaluation process is going on, and the winners of the fintech hackathons would be announced very shortly. But huge interest have already been received in each of these fintech hackathons that we organize, and we plan to organize regularly going forward. Apart from the fintech incentive policy of the IFSC authority, announced by the Ministry of Finance, Government of Gujarat a week back has come out with a very interesting and attractive incentive policy under the IT/ITES segment, where various incentives have been announced, both from the capital expenditure perspective and also from the operating expenditure perspective. And say if somebody is looking to set up a fintech, there are schemes for the incubators, there are schemes for the employees training. The provident fund of the employees will be reimbursed by Government of Gujarat, for the 100% for the female employees, 25% for the male employees for the period of 5 years. There are schemes for the employment generation as well. So, 50% of 1 month's CTC, maximum up to $670 would be reimbursed by Government of Gujarat, basically. So I think these are very interesting numbers and monetary benefits announced by Government of Gujarat, specifically for the IT and ITES companies, which also covers the fintech companies. And there are capital expenditure reimbursement also provided under the scheme, where 25% of your capital expenditure would be reimbursed by Government of Gujarat, and that amount is also very significant, from the monetary terms. Another important aspect is also on the upskilling perspective. So there are direct benefit transfer available to the employees if you want to avail some certification course related to the technology. The employees or the individuals will directly get credit from Government of Gujarat under this scheme. So I think, there are already, Fintech Accelerator is already functional today. And we are also now creating a Fintech incubation facility within GIFT. This would help to promote the overall Fintech ecosystem in GIFT City. With this, I'll end this presentation, and we'll be happy to answer any questions that you have. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much your presentation, Mr. Sandeep. Unfortunately, because of the time, we cannot have the QA session. However, you have the question in the chat box, so please answer his question on the chat box, please. It was quite interesting. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, so now I'll try to welcome Fu. I'm sorry, I don't know how to pronounce the name of your startup.
Hi, I'm Ashish, and it is pronounced at whirl, just like in whirlpool. Wow. So yeah, so WHRRL is pronounced at WHIRL, which is whirl as in whirlpool.
Sorry, Akiko needed some practice. Maybe next time Akiko has the right pronunciations.
Well, perfect. I mean, we will be looking forward to when we talk about how we can move to further discussions on this.
Great.
Yeah. Great. So, so I believe that given the time constraint, you would like me to jump directly on to the presentation, right? Hi, I'm Ashish Anand, and we run India's one and only blockchain fintech startup focused on a global commodity finance trade in the form of a specific instrument called warehouse receipt finance or commodity finance, using real world asset NFTs backed by commodities. So right now, before us, the speaker spoke about non-fungible token creation using real world assets. We are doing that here in India. And that is where we have gone one step beyond that. We tokenize the assets and facilitate lending against those tokenized assets. We are India's largest blockchain platform and globally one and only blockchain platform for commodity finance. Also in Asia, or rather in APAC region, we are the one and only one blockchain fintech platform that facilitates lending against real world asset NFTs. So this is what we have been doing. And we have chosen a very specific use case known as commodity finance, which has application in agri-commodities, metals, minerals, and any other type of commodity as well. And it's a sort of inventory financing ecosystem. Means someone holding inventory of commodities, say for example, a farmer, say for example, an exporter, they can deposit these commodities in third-party warehouses on our platform, wherein we use blockchain to create non-fungible tokens, and we facilitate loan against those commodities deposited in our warehouses. And that way we are helping the agriculture supply chain here in India. We have given loan to thousands of farmers here in India. We are also lending to the supply chain players and so on. The problem in this segment, which is across Asia, whether it is in China, whether it is in India, whether it is in Singapore or APAC region, Australia, etc. as well, that despite the fact that commodity finance has been one of the oldest financial products, today also it is subject to huge frauds. In 2020 itself, banks lost $12 billion in Singapore itself in commodity finance sector. That is the problem we solve using blockchain. Using blockchain, we also remove intermediary from the ecosystem and also help reduce the banks in their portfolio concentration risk as well. The platform uses blockchain to connect each and every participant, whether these are farmers, whether these are exporters, whether these are other commodity supply chain players, the traders, and the warehouses on one single blockchain platform, where once again, we use smart contracts to facilitate lending against these commodity-backed NFTs, and they can be traded in the market as well. It helps reduce the bank's risk exposure. That is the core functionality of using blockchain. Has application for agriculture and soft commodities, metals, etc. And we have already in last 2 years of our operations, we have got 1,400 warehouses on our platform to create asset-backed NFTs. We have support of the government, we have support of the banking sector, we have support of other private lenders as well. And we have been one of the provincial governments of India, government of state of Maharashtra, has allocated $300 million to be lent on this platform in future. We have tokenized more than $500 million worth of commodities on our platform in 2020 to 2022 in last 2 years. The platform has won awards and accolades across the globe from both blockchain, fintech, and normal banking industry. And we are supported by the likes of IIM Ahmedabad, Qatar Financial Technology Hub, Mass Challenge of the US, and so on. Not only that, we are now expanding to decentralized finance. Our decentralized finance protocol is being launched in this year. We have just recently signed our MOU for extending the platform in Philippines and Indonesia, and also looking forward to expand it to other countries. We are backed by a team of 20 people as of today, out of which 3 are co-founders, 2 advisors are supporting us from Silicon Valley and Indian inclusion sector as well. And this is all from our side. We believe that this product has a lot of application in a country like Japan, where agriculture farmers can be, especially rice farmers, etc., can benefit from this. And also the banks like MUGF, etc., who are active in commodity finance across the globe can be participant on this ecosystem. Thanks a lot, and I will be open to questions if there are any.
Thank you so much for your presentation, Ashish. At the end of your presentation, you mentioned about usage in Japan. However, like we can easily understand and imagine how it works, your service works at the developing countries, mainly like they're depending on the agriculture, the economy. However, like it's kind of a bit like hard for us to understand how we can use or how we can implement your technology or your services to the Japanese market, or let's say like American, or such kind of the market.
So see, our product is suitable for commodity finance market. So anywhere commodity is used, whether in the import process or the export process, or for local consumption as well. Our systems helps people who are producers, for example, farmers, or who are importers, who are importing, say, for example, metals and minerals, or who are producing metal, for example, in Japan itself. So all those commodity players, producer, importers, and exporters require commodity financing. But because the sector has seen its challenges, the banks are typically hesitant to lend against commodities directly. And that's where our solution comes into picture, which helps banks to reduce the risk from the ecosystem and create a trust into the supply chain lending process by using a trustless solution of blockchain.
Okay, so you mentioned about sort of the warehousing the agriculture product, right? But
Yes.
sorry, what do you mean now is that whatever sort of put into the warehouse, it might be workable. Am I right?
That's true. So inventory has to be stored somewhere so that that inventory can act as a collateral.
Yeah, and I understand. So you are using the new technology like sort of blockchain, whatever. But I used to work for the bank, and the bank is always looking for a sort of collateral. And one of the possibility is that inventory. Then bank had a problem because sorry, we have the bank has the inventory as a collateral, but if the client cannot repay the so that the bank have to take this the bank have to take this the inventory, but the problem is that bank is not so capable to monetize this inventory. So apart from this blockchain, this kind of technology, I think that this structure, this problem is remains unchanged. What do you think?
So you see, that's a very common problem that banks are not expert in selling the collateral, right? If there is a default, and that's where our platform comes into picture. These collaterals are in the form of non-fungible tokens. So the tokens represent the ownership in the asset. So what the platform on the platform itself, it is possible to sell the collateral. So the banks don't need to worry about how do we sell, where they find the buyer for this collateral in case of a default. On the platform, we create a platform for the buy and sell as well. And if there is a default, the buyers will buy on the platform. So we solve that collection process for the bank as well on the same platform.
All right. So once it's a tokenized. This is a sort of an NFT, not the real product anymore.
So the real product is in the warehouse. The token can be transferred, and that creates a global market for the tokens and a fragmented market as well. So the liquidity goes up because now the tokens can be divided. And then whenever the buyer wants, they can pick up the goods, or they can ask a logistics player to pick up the goods from the warehouse.
I see. You are smart.
Thank you.
Very good idea.
So that's the process over here.
I have simple questions. We understand that your service is using the real product in the warehouse as a collateral, but how to check the real product for the collateral?
Right. So for that, if you look at here on the platform, we have this entity called collateral manager, who are third-party verification agencies. So the third-party verification agencies provide their information before lending happens about the quantity and quality of the product in the warehouse as well. In addition to that, we have applied certain technology solutions to ensure that any non-fungible token is created only when the commodities are in the warehouses, which involve pictorial solutions and geotag solutions. So those solutions have been implemented, but in addition to that, it is also supported by verification agencies, and these are third-party verification agencies, not World's agency, neither they are part of the banking ecosystem, and that way we can rely more and more upon such parties to provide their unbiased report. And that report, and it can be done more than once, it can be done throughout the loan period as well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times, and all that report also gets part of it, becomes part of the initial report, becomes part of the metadata of the NFT, and later on other reports also come onto the blockchain and remain there for perpetuity for anyone to verify.
So the user must keep reporting the situation, the inventory situations.
So actually speaking, because the platform is, because the warehouses are also on the same platform, so any inventory inward and outward automatically gets captured, and being a shared ledger, it is automatically getting transmitted to the lenders as well. So all the time the inventory, real-time inventory and real-time lending data on that inventory is available to the ecosystem. I hope I understood the question correctly and answered that accordingly.
Okay, thank you for your answers. Yeah.
Sure, thanks.
So I'd like to have a tentative conclusions for Japan market. I understand that. So I want to talk to the bank and I want to talk to the social warehousing company. What kind of products they have now, right? And if they sort of this kind of tokenization can help their businesses to have a more sort of liquidity, I think that they will show interest. This is first one. Okay.
Of course, I mean, we believe that we bring value proposition for each and every participant, not only to the borrower.
All right.
The value proposition is for each and every participant, and that's why we see that, and that there should be market acceptance, and that's what we believe that has helped us to remain one and only blockchain fintech startup on independent platform of India. So
yeah, no worry. We already understand you are very smart. Yeah.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah. Second thing, how about the developing country? Because actually we have the very good relationship with Uganda.
Yes, actually speaking, product is more suitable to global south. So so that's true, because that is where all the producers of commodities are, right? They are in Asia, they are in Africa, and they are in Latin America.
Yeah. So can we talk to the Uganda?
So we have plans for geographical expansion to Africa as well. Right now we have started with Southeast Asia, as I mentioned earlier. We just signed a joint venture there. But next stop is Africa. We already have 2 of our team members in Kenya, and we are looking to take it to the African market. If not this year, maybe by next year for sure.
All right. So if at least we can share information. So because nothing will happen in the next day, right? It will take time, right?
Yep.
So to send the information to them, we do that.
Sure. Perfect. That will be really helpful. Yeah. Thanks a lot, everyone.
Sorry, I can, not mute, but I'm sure. I can hear you. I'm not sure.
Yeah, no, I cannot hear you. Maybe our problem?
Our problem?
I can hear you well.
Yeah.
Oh, okay,
sorry. That was a Akiko problem. Sorry. Yeah, need more practice for a couple of things. Yeah.
Sure. So I just said that thanks a lot for inviting me to this presentation.
Great. All right. So that's all from our side today, and very good to see you today. Thank you.
Sure. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much for presentation. Thank you. Okay, so now we're happy to welcome the last presenter for today, Amvest.
Hi everyone, I'm Kunal from Earnvest. Nice to meet everyone here. Thank you for the opportunity. We at Earnvest are building a working capital management platform designed and catered towards the problems relating to working capital within developing ecosystems like India. We have taken a look at the government data that is available about the working capital needs per SME when adjusted for inflation over the last 40 years. And we've realized that the working capital requirements per SME have been increasing drastically while the financing ecosystem hasn't been able to catch up. One of the key reasons for this is the high cost of capital or the collateral requirement that comes in. Unsecured loans are very high, require very high interest rates, while collateral requirements sometimes become unreasonable for most SMEs to process. Another challenge is that since Indian SMEs don't have typical Indian SMEs don't have a pre-planned working capital management strategy, they usually need capital available to them within a month, while typical financing sources usually need 2 to 3 months to close out a working capital loan, even for the credit worthy. We at Earnvest are trying to solve this problem. We sit in between businesses and lenders. We provide working capital advisory and deal negotiation and product advisory to businesses, and we provide an ecosystem of multiple working capital deals that multiple lenders on the platform can come in and participate. We break down the entire transaction and define key roles for businesses and vendors that they need to take responsibility for. Everything else is taken care of by Earnvest. Businesses just need to share the documents that are required, and lenders need to process the credit underwriting checks as per their requirements, as per their methodology, and everything else can then be taken care of by Earnvest. These are some of the key products that we offer. We typically provide solutions to businesses within 48 hours, and we have multiple solutions designed and catered, built with multiple other fintech players on the platform to help cater the specific needs of Indian SMEs. Since we are not an NBFC ourselves, we usually have a very low regulatory burden, and we are able to process transactions much faster because of the tech interface that we're using. Because of all of these reasons, we have been able to achieve reasonably high market penetration and been able to attain a reasonably good understanding of underwriting models for our clients. Our solutions are integrated end to end. Our process is very quick, and the turnaround time is very short. These are some of the partners that we are working with. Earnvest sales happens through a very catered platform. We deploy our own research team to identify the kind of companies we want to work with. We have a channel partnership program, as well as traditional sales channels we use to get in touch with these companies, and we then onboard them on the platform. We don't entertain every company that comes to us. We are trying to maintain high quality companies on the platform, and that is why we have set up this kind of a process. We started our operations in August last year, 2021, and since then we've been growing steadily. We have disbursed about 32 crores by the end of January, and another 35 crores in processing right now. We are currently in a very early stage. We are still building our MVP and building functional capabilities on the product. We are looking to then expand and integrate multiple repayment as well as notification solutions for our clients on the platform, as well as building specific solutions that help us target more corporates and suppliers and vendors of our clients to provide much more deeper penetration in the supply chain. This is a brief about the team. Me and Shubham are former members of the Advanced Geometric Computing Group at IIT Madras. We are both techies. We have experience in AI, geometry, machine learning, blockchain, etc. We also brought in Hariharan with us. He handles our sales and business development. He has about 15 years of industry experience. He used to be the head of demand generation at IFSC. We are currently raising a small round of about $200,000 US. We aim to use this amount to improve our product capabilities and expand our customer base across the target segment that we have identified so far. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your presentation.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Thank you for your presentation. So I have two questions. So in your slides, so I thought the interest is flexible, but how much do you think that you charge for the interest? And this
the interest amounts are something that the lenders on the platform decide. We are not the decision makers of that. We are a facilitator and not a lender ourselves. Typical interest rates that we have seen for unsecured products have been in the range of 15 to 16% per annum, which is typically lower than the standard going rate in India, but still on the higher side for most corporates.
So the interest rate is higher than bank?
Yes, because most of the banking ecosystem is not able to sustain the requirements of the Indian SME segment. That is why there are multiple non-banking financial players that exist in the market who facilitate transactions for companies that have been left out by the banking ecosystem.
And another question, how much the user can user finance, the average?
At an average, it's typically in the range of $1 to $2 million.
$1 to $2 million.
$1 to $2 million US. We've also done some transactions for about $20 million US that are in the pipeline. But most typical transactions that we've seen in the first 6 months of our operations have been in the range of $1 to $2 million.
$1 to $2 US for 6 months.
Yes.
All right. Yeah. One question. Sorry. So we had some of the computer trouble, and maybe I missed the explanations. And so you are providing the loan by using the account receivable. Am I right?
That is just one of the things that we do. We have multiple products on our platform, but we are not the lenders. We are a facilitator for working capital transactions between lenders, both banks and NBFCs, and borrowers.
It's a platform. So
Yes.
you are not financer.
No, we are not financing.
Okay, understand. According to your platform, for example, the bank is willing to lend money to the customers. Collateral is account receivable. So right?
That is one of the products that is available on the platform.
So
Yes.
it's collateral or it's factoring. The bank buy out this account receivable, which is correct.
That depends upon the kind of customer whom the account receivable has been issued to. There are two different models as per the regulator. Most cases, there is a loan that is issued against the receivable where the receivable is used as a collateral and bank provides a loan. In other cases, there's also a model of factoring where the receivable is bought out by the lender or the financer.
All right. So what kind of account receivable is practically available?
Invoices. Invoices are the best receivable that is used.
So, sorry, can you tell me again?
Issued invoices to the customers.
Only invoice for any product, any transactions.
Yes.
Okay. Only invoice. The invoice. So now you already had a customer, right?
Yes, we've been working with multiple clients. At this point in time, we have about 14 clients active on the platform.
Who is a lender? Banks?
We have 2 banks that we are onboarding right now. Other than that, we have 6 financing partners that are NBFCs.
All right. So who is a client? Who receives money? Private or the corporate?
Not corporates. These are small size SMEs. They're not your typical corporates. They typically have revenues less than 10 to 15, $20 million per annum.
It's a small company, maybe.
Yes.
I see, understand that. Yeah. Interesting. Actually, I had the same conversation with Sandeep. So if the customer cannot repay the money, so the account receivable is tokenized. Then
that is one of the options that the lenders have. We do not interfere with the repayment and the credit underwriting models that the lenders and the borrowers set up between themselves. We are here to facilitate the transaction.
All right. So if somebody need this transaction to be tokenized, so you are not the party. So somebody else will do that.
Yes, they can do that.
Okay, I understand that. I think we need to have another separate meeting before we introduce your product to the bank.
Of course.
Yeah, and today, so the Akiko's computer is working very hard, and so we lost the phone from our our devices. That's why, sorry, so we missed some conversations. So what I can suggest is to first arrange another video call to have a better understanding. Second, once we have it, we will talk to the bank. Is that okay for you?
Sure.
So am I right? So I think that we should talk to the bank. That is the right way.
Yes, we can talk to the banks. We have been trying to expand our operations to other Southeast Asian countries as well.
Okay. Yep.
Okay. Thank you so much for your attendance today. Thank you a lot.
Thank you.
Okay, so now we're done with all the programs for today. So I'd like to ask Mumu, the Director of Global Finance Center, for closing remarks for our first FinTech specialized event.
Yeah, and thank you for everyone to joining this event. And I was assigned to talk about the closing remarks, but actually, more importantly, this is a kickoff event for our further collaborations. Event is event today, so we had a very good event. But we're gonna talk you so that one by one. So that today, so we had a 2 pitch from 2 company, great, yeah. But for the rest of the people, please contact us, okay? And actually, the food is a presentation for the gift.
Sandeep.
Oh,
Sandeep.
no, for the gift city. Sandeep, Sandeep, you did a great presentations. I had a problem because now I'm in Fukuoka. I have to promote the Fukuoka city, but my problem is I want to fly to the Glacier today. Yeah, so nice city. Thank you for presentations. So Fukuoka city is rather small, but that's why we had a very good network. So that by using this small network, we already established a very good network with the banks and also the other enterprises. So that you can utilize that. Okay. So this is the biggest advantage for Fukuoka. And if I talk about Japan, and in terms of fintech, Japan is definitely behind, okay, compared to the other country, including India. Yeah. So if you feel this is an opportunity, yeah, please contact us. Okay. Japan is basically the blue ocean for the fintech company. And so thank you for the Mona again. And in this year, we are very well connected with the community from the couple community from the India. And thank you for your effort. Okay. So yeah, that's all from my side. And see you very soon. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mumu, for the closing remarks. And thank you all so much for your participation today. We'll send you the feedback form after this event. So we appreciate if you could give us some minute to answer them to improve our online event. If you have any additional questions to the startups or a gift or us, please feel free to let us know with your question on the feedback form. Thank you again for your time and see you soon in the next event. Thank you so much.
Bye. Bye. Namaste. Namaste.
Thank you.
Everyone.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Bye.
Bye bye.